What's going on, my PT peeps? I'm a Walking Dead family. Welcome to the PT channel. I'm One Eye Bri. You don't know if I'm winking or I'm blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about The Walking Dead. And in this video, we're going to recap really a lot of Season 9, but definitely highlight Season 9, Episode 1. We're going to recap the first 8 episodes before The Walking Dead returns on February 10th. We're going to start with episode 901, obviously, so spoiler warning for Season 9, Episode 1, and really a lot of Season 9, the first half. So if you're worried about spoilers, stop watching now. But first and foremost, guys, if you can, show us some love by supporting the channel, by hitting that subscribe button, become a valued member of the PT channel and our Walking Dead family. Photo credit and info credit, obviously, to AMC and The Walking Dead, giving credit where credit is due. Well, right off the bat, Season 9, Episode 1 gave us a new intro and a new opening sequence for Season 9, and it was pretty cool. I liked that they changed up the intro with the opening sequence. I believe that's either a 9 or a 6, representing Season 9. Maybe something big happens in Episode 6, but it's probably a 9. We saw a time jump in the first episode, a year and a half since the Season 8 finale. We saw a lot of different things. We saw the group at the Sanctuary, at Hilltop, at Alexandria, and the group has come a long way. Rick is still the leader of Alexandria, Maggie is running Hilltop, and Daryl is running the Sanctuary, and I guess Ezekiel is running the Kingdom, even though we didn't see the Kingdom. And overall, I thought the episode was really good. It wasn't the best season premiere by any means. I know the Terminus one is going to be really tough to beat for a season premiere, but Season 9, Episode 1 was pretty good. We saw the different routes. We saw Route A, Route B. Some people are thinking it was Route Alexandria, but I just think it was Route A, B, C, D. The weather, the terrain, stuff was starting to break down. We saw Aaron and Jesus working together to clear out walkers, and the first half of Season 9 is done, and we're just recapping the episodes. We'll start with Episode 1 right here, but it's kind of interesting when you look back. You see Aaron and Jesus working together. They are in a later episode, and it's kind of cool when The Walking Dead connects and definitely shows some things from prior episodes. They plant the seed and the initial story, and then it blossoms into something, most likely. Season 9 has done that for sure. We got to see buildings break down, structures break down, and even some people break down. But it's kind of cool when you see the bridge that was back in Season 8, and then you see what it looks like now. The Sanctuary is far different as well. The Sanctuary was trying to survive, but it's a factory. It's not a farm. It's not made for growing things, and that's how you survive in a zombie apocalypse. We saw Regina. We saw other saviors that we got to meet for the first time. It was interesting to see the Sanctuary, how it was without Negan leading, without Dwight leading. Some differences in the comic for sure. I like that about the show. The show can stand on its own. It doesn't have to rely just on the comic material, and Season 9 has done that. It's jumped around a little bit. We got to see some new characters and some characters that are just for the show. Justin, Jed, Regina, basically Arat. Arat is a comic character that's got a little twist. She's kind of the reverse Tara. That's what Arat means. It's Tara spelled backwards, Arat. But I think it's interesting how Season 9 started, and overall, I think Season 9, the first half that we've seen so far, is pretty good. Daryl was running the Sanctuary, which to me is a little far-fetched, but he didn't want to run it anymore, and that makes more sense to me. Famous Rick Grimes, going to the Sanctuary and keeping the peace was pretty essential. The Sanctuary had a lot of people, I'm guessing a lot of workers, a lot of people that didn't like Negan, and I'm glad they talked about that a little bit. And I'm glad we got to see Carol and Daryl together on screen. They definitely have a connection and a relationship there, whether it's romantic or if ever be that, I'm not sure. But Carol took over running the Sanctuary and the Saviors. And of course, we got to see Michonne, give some Michonne love. And I'm glad Rick and Michonne were going strong. And that's important for the show. Rick and Michonne are two strong characters. They're together, and I'm glad stuff was working out for them. Everything looked to be going pretty well for everybody except the Sanctuary over the past year and a half. That's the feeling I got. Judith, Rick, Michonne, an all happy family in the zombie apocalypse, but you know it wouldn't last. And if you look closely at the paintings by Judith, you see helicopters in the clouds. Clouds were definitely drawn there in blue. Looks a lot like helicopters, right? As you can see, foreshadowing all over the place. The heart is dripping. The heart is drippy. It's very drippy. When Judith was saying all these different things, it was definitely foreshadowing a lot of things about Rick and what may happen. I love the interaction with Michonne and Judith, and then Rick joins them. And it was just like a family. It was nice. It was cute. It was definitely the interaction I wanted to see. with Judith, being funny and teasing Rick, and then Michonne starts laughing. Well, Danai Gurira is probably really laughing. I thought she was really funny, and it's a cute interaction. I'm glad we got to see that because there has to be some good times in the zombie apocalypse. It doesn't have to all be bad, but then we get The Walking Dead. They go to DC, and I'm glad we got to see DC. I think the CGI looks really great there. They filmed this in Georgia. They weren't actually in Virginia or Washington, D.C. area. So I'm glad we got to see DC finally. Will they go back to there? Hopefully that'll be pretty awesome. But Rick, Michonne, and a big group of people, I mean a lot of people, really the main cast, the main stars of the show were there at the museum to get the seeds, to get the tools, to get the wagon, to get the canoe, to get a bunch of different supplies. And it was pretty cool. It was a good storyline. And to me, it did make sense. And I think we got to see one of the coolest zombies we've seen in a long time. The spider came out and the little spiders, and it was pretty creepy. And I think season 9 is doing a good job with mixing things up and adding a horror element to the show. We saw some foreshadowing here with the bloody handprint on Civil War. Definitely some big stuff was coming with Maggie, Michonne, Rick, Daryl, a Civil War, for sure. We saw some other relationships too. Some new love in the zombie apocalypse. Carol and Ezekiel, and even another relationship that kind of got highlighted a little bit in the premiere episode, but we saw in the later episodes for sure. But what do you think of Ezekiel? I think it's pretty cute. I like them together. I think they balance each other out. I think Carol is a realist. Ezekiel is an idealist. I think they'll balance each other out, and it's good for the show. And the Father Gabriel Jadis connection was definitely starting to blossom in the episode. Nothing really highlighted it too much in the episode, but we would see it in a later episode. And again, they plant the seed, and then we see the story grow in future episodes or future seasons. Then on the way back, they threw a little wrench in the storyline that we know from the comic. Ken and Marco were definitely different on the show than they were in the comics, which is pretty good. Marco's on the left, Ken's on the right, and Ken's death here when he got bit and then kicked by the horse sets some things in motion in this episode and the rest of season 9, well, the first half. Ken's death sets up Gregory's attack on Maggie, and then Maggie's killing Gregory, and then Gregory's death being seen by Oceanside really set some things in motion for season 9, the first half and potentially the second half. Tammy Rose and Earl are the parents of Ken. Tammy, I think we'll see again in the second half of season 9. We did see her in a couple episodes of the first half of season 9. But like I said, Gregory wants to overthrow Maggie. Maggie was the elected leader of Hilltop, which she should be. Gregory was terrible. Gregory's death definitely came earlier on the show than it did in the comics, but I'm glad Gregory is gone. He needed to leave, right? Nobody is sad that Gregory got killed. Some people were like, he wasn't hanged for long enough, but that was just kind of crazy, and I talked about it in the video that people got mad. Why would you even talk about it? Well, it's a discussion point. Daryl is definitely Team Maggie. Daryl and Maggie together versus Rick and Michonne was definitely clearly evident there. That carried over from season 8 into season 9. And I kind of liked the storyline. I liked Maggie and Daryl seeing it one way, Rick and Michonne seeing it another way. And at the end of the day, they would be there for each other. And then some crazy stuff happened later on in the first half of season 9. But I like the storyline so far, even as of the first episode. It was definitely intriguing. I would say that it was a good start and building block for the rest of the season and hopefully the series. Daryl, Maggie, Rick, Michonne, Baby Herschel, everybody coming together is what we want to see. They're going to have a difference of opinion, and that's real life, and I'm glad they covered that, because it wouldn't all be cookie cutter. They wouldn't be like, oh, singing Kumbaya and what to do here, because Maggie killing Gregory needed to be done. At least I think so, and a lot of people do. But the death of Gregory sets things in motion, big things in motion, with Oceanside, the Saviors, Rick, Michonne, and it could have been avoided, but it happened the way it did. Also, remember these two kids right here. You will see them again later on in the first half of season 9. Some little things they snuck in there, even in the premiere episode, and that's why I love The Walking Dead. They do little things, twists and turns, tricks, Easter eggs, callbacks, foreshadowing. It's definitely there in this episode and in the series as a whole. But season 9, episode 1, A New Beginning was definitely different than the comic story of A New Beginning, and I like that about it. I'm glad the show decided to stand on its own a little bit. I mean, it clearly has the comic connections, and it brought some things from issues that would happen in a later date, not in A New Beginning storyline, but overall, I thought the episode was really great. And again, this is the general recap of some big moments. What did you like? What did you hate? What did you want to see? What did I miss? Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already to join our Walking Dead family here at the PT channel. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. And tell them, Daryl.
Yo, we love you guys. Honestly, thank you.